Cascadia was built far beyond the normal criteria for North America. Literally hundreds of persons were involved in this project. Vendors, subcontractors, mold makers, laminators, yacht designers, the sailmakers. The more people that got involved, the more people wanted to build.
Everybody notices it when you go into marinas, but she's meant to be out there, not at the dock.
Cascadia is a 77-foot performance sloop designed by Carl Schumacher. Frankly, I tried to convince this owner to build the boat in New Zealand or in Australia. That was a hard stop by him. He wanted to build it in Ballard. This owner considered the building of Cascadia to be a gift to the building community. He wanted to give all of us a chance to show what type of boat was capable of being built in Ballard. He wanted to try to build the boat in under 2 years. We did extensive skin and panel and bulkhead testing. Same thing with the deck. And we would do destructive testing on that. What you're looking at is actually the inside skin. There's 2 1/8 layers of cedar. They're done on a plus and minus 45-degree angle. And then there's a carbon fiber 3 skins, and then there's a super light balsa core, 1 inch, and then there's 5 layers of an outside skin. So this would be the outside skins, and then the inside skins. The resin system is a West System 229 latent cure, cured at 30 psi in a vacuum bag at 150 degrees. You don't really know how good a job you've done laminating until you've actually sea trialed the boat. And 24 years later, right now, inside or outside, you cannot see any stress marks of any kind near the chain plates. That's significant because that's the highest loaded area in the skin. So Carl Schumacher came from a very prestigious racing background. His boats to this day are admired for their simplicity. His idea was a Formica interior. Now, if everything in this beautiful interior was Formica, this boat would be, 4,000 pounds lighter. There's probably 4,000 or 5,000 pounds of interior paneling alone in this boat. Now, that's also garbage compactors, a much bigger stove than Carl had in mind. So he had a much simpler version of this interior. This owner was very understated, but brilliant. He was absolutely fixed on Madrona, being the interior wood. We found the Madrona trees at a mill, and we picked 4 logs so that veneers from those logs would match perfectly. The main salon, all the Madrona veneers were all picked from one tree. And then as we move through the boat, there's a tree designated, one Madrona tree or log designated for each of those areas in the boat. The galley speaks for itself. We actually made the pilot house sides, we pushed them out when we were building the deck mold to gain a little bit more room in the galley. So this is the upper pilot house helm station. When you're driving in this station, you can see perfectly right over the bow.
The pilot house is an amazing view to sit up. You're out of the wind, it's beautiful. You have the full 360 windows, so you get the full view of everything you're doing without having to be out in the cockpit.
So moving forward, immediately when we go in the port cabin, the lower berth is actually much wider than this upper berth. This upper berth, if one person was to stay in here, folds down and becomes a backrest. All of a sudden the cabin gets much larger for one person. Starboard cabin, this berth can switch outboard so that you have a double berth here, and then this cabinet slides over here to the inboard side. And then moving forward into the owner's cabin, double berth. Chris Henderson was my right-hand laminator. His father designed all of this. Mr. Henderson did a fantastic job on that. Very talented family. And moving into the crew cabin, we have a crew head, which also has a ladder, so that The crew can live back aft here while the owners are living forward, and the crew can get up in the middle of the night and go up through this hatch, check the anchor, or early in the morning if the owner wants to get underway. We can do that entirely autonomously and not disturb them. One thing you probably should see, that's the kind of detail and laminate work that we did. That's a very complicated part. That's part of the Traveler tagline system. And you'll notice that everywhere on this boat is back painted, just so that wiring and plumbing pops out at you when you need to work on it. The entire engine room we mocked up in styrofoam to make sure that every single part that we put in that engine room would be put in the best spot so that we can actually go in there and work and move across without crawling. So this is the main electrical panel. This is a 24-volt system. We have a regular running time, meaning winches, lighting, Webasto on, of about 6 hours. And then we have to fire up the genset.
So in the cockpit here at Cascadia, it's designed that the helmsman can pretty much have access to all the sail controls. We have our main sheet, our jib sheet, and they're all full powered. And the nice feature on this boat is that we have DC pumps and hydraulic PTO off the generator. So our generator does not need to be running for all the hydraulic functions to happen. So when you're anchoring or sailing, you can shut all the engines off and you maintain power. So another amazing feature is the transom door / swim deck. Again, hydraulic powered. The transom door folds down with a nice boarding ladder that comes out with it, so you can walk safely down to the deck. And from here, this is where we get on the tender, launch the kayaks, and basically it's the play area. For the anchor davit, it's all tucked away, and she articulates out, and it's perfectly designed to just nestle in that little slot there. And that's how she sits when we're at anchor. So it's also completely out of the way. And we put the deck chairs up here, and that's about it. So the tender, we just launched with 2 people. We have this nice bow line that already has a pre-length shackle. So all we do is you just hook the bow line up here, and it keeps the tender from going aft into the mast. And it's got a bridle, and you just put a halyard on it with the powered winch and lift it up, and one person swings it over the side and it drops right down into the water. Our goal is usually to get anchored and tender in the water under 10 minutes when we come to a new place. So the pit here is where all the halyards and everything run for the main halyard, spin halyard, jib halyard. And we have 2 powered winches and 2 manual winches, but one person can handle basically all the up and down of all the sails through these 4 winches, and it keeps all the halyards and everything out of the cockpit, which really cleans up and keeps the cockpit nice and tidy when we are sailing. One of the amazing things is how well thought out she was when she was built. And it allows for you to go sailing without anything being a big hassle. You don't need 5 hands on deck to get the anchor up or get the stern line off the shore or basically get underway. It's just a 1-2 person job.
You can cruise this boat anywhere in the Northwest effortlessly without having to have a professional crew on board. Absolutely the best trip, although it was challenging, was taking Cascadia from Seattle to San Francisco. That's when I met Connor, who's been on board for 13 years, probably 30 to 35 knot headwinds, but nobody got hurt, no systems failed. And then we also had 3 full reefs in the main and 50 plus knots.
It was absolutely incredible to see and be honored in those up to 50 knots and 12-foot seas, and how well she handled it and how relatively comfortable she was for that sea state. For a 77-foot boat, it is really simplistic and easy to handle all the systems on board, from anchoring to motoring to sailing. Basically, the beauty of Cascadia is being able to get into some of those anchorages that other boats just can do, but it's not necessarily as safe and comfortable. It allows us to kind of get away from the crowds and allows you to be in some amazing places.
It's been my home. It's been my home, and very proud to have been able to build this for this family. I've got somewhere around 400,000 racing miles, and there aren't too many builders that are also racing sailors. And in order to have this as the last boat that I've built, I just love it. It's just a great memory.